Hi everyone. As I promised, I wanted to do a video journal about why I started this channel. In order for me to really explain my weight journey, I have to give you a brief history about my weight. My parents, especially my dad, was very much into physical activity. He basically didn't like seeing kids sitting around watching TV, not doing anything. He liked it when kids got out there and ran around, through water balloons and things like that. One good example is one day I was in my room and it was the summer, and he walked in and he looked at me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm relaxing." And he was like, "Why don't you walk down or run down to the school, which is 5 blocks away, and then come back?" He just wanted us to always do something. I guess all parents back then wanted their kids to get moving, move their bodies around. But even when as active as I was, I always loved to eat. I was always last to leave the dinner table. I ate everything on my plate, but I never had a weight problem because I was so active. In high school in 1996, I was preparing to go into the Air Force, and so I was running a lot. I was doing some weight training. I weighed about 140 pounds at that time, but God had a different plan for me in my life, so I ended up not even going into the Air Force, and I got married in 2000. In 2000, I was 180 pounds. It was a very happy and exciting year, but it was a very devastating year, a very trying year. In 2000, I lost my mom before getting married. She was one of the most humble people I know. She was the hardest working woman I know, and she lost her life to cancer. And the wedding was already planned, so I got married in September and she passed away in March. It was a very trying year because I was mourning. I was adjusting to this whole marriage life, and getting into the groove of that, and my father was ill at the time. And I was getting married to a man that's 6'5". And this is just a side note. I tell this to all women. Do not try to keep up with your husband-to-be or your husband's eating habits, because men generally can eat like an entire household and not gain anything. And even if they do gain anything, they usually can lose weight very quickly. Whereas a woman, it'll take, like me, 3-4 years to get to the point where someone even notices that you're losing any weight. But let's fast forward. So in 2005, I was at my heaviest. I weighed 235 and I was wearing size 22 in clothes, and I'm only 5'3", 5'4". And at this point, I was not active at all. I mean, I didn't drive, I didn't walk anywhere. I drove like 2 blocks to go to 7-Eleven. My life had changed. And in some ways, it took a turn for the worse. But in other ways, things really opened up, and it was an exciting time for me. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. In 2002, I started attending a new Bible study group. I was a pastor's kid, and I thought I knew my Bible. So when I walked in there, I had like a huge head, and I had the attitude of like, tell me something I don't know already about the Bible. But I was so wrong. I was so humbled. I never seen people being so real, so genuine about their walk and how they applied the Bible to real life issues. And then even deep and complex things, like I didn't even know that man was tripart. I didn't know that about the spirit, the soul, and the body. I didn't know the intricate parts about the soul, the mind, the will, and emotions, and how when God said, Adam, if you eat of this fruit, you're surely going to die, meaning that his relationship with God was severed. I mean, I can go on and on about different truths that I've learned from this Bible study group. So in all, my change was internal, and then it became external with the whole weight thing. In 2000, 2006 in January, one of my New Year's resolutions, my husband helped me to join the gym, and it was a battle. It hurt to work out. I was lazy, I wasn't used to it, and I didn't like looking around seeing a bunch of skinny people working out. But I had to take 2 Corinthians 10:5 to heart, taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Meaning, like, if there was days where I felt really ugly, I exchanged those thoughts with thoughts like, I am my beloved and he is mine. Or when I felt like depressed and alone, I reminded myself of John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his son. Meaning, not only when I was at my best or when I'm pretty, but when I'm ugly, when I feel ugly, when things aren't working out. I did the whole gym thing for a year, and I worked out almost religiously 3 times a week for like 2.5 to 3 hours. But I plateaued quickly because I didn't change my eating habits. Like, what's eating healthy, right? Like, I didn't even know what a healthy portion size was. So that's when I joined Weight Watchers. And then to add to all of that, I was in the process of praying for a child. So I was going to the doctor, I was doing my part, and they were putting me on a bunch of different medications. They found out that I had PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. That actually made it harder for me to lose weight than the average person. Like, I had to work that much harder. And so in let's say it was July of 2008, a little bit before that, the doctors were basically telling me that I had to start infertility. But God, in July of 2008, I found out that I was pregnant while I was getting preparations ready for my sister-in-law's wedding. And then in March of 2009, I gave birth to my first son, my only son. And his name is Langifisi Kairos. Kairos is Greek for God's timing, which is, we just thought was a perfect name. Basically, there are no shortcuts in life, whether they're spiritual or physical. And you have to learn to enjoy the process of it all. Also, having friends and family is a great benefit. My core friends really helped me out during this time as well. One was verbally my encourager. The other one was like helping me through the process. She was basically like, accessorize, don't wear those pants anymore. And my other core friend was basically my shoulder to lean on. She was the person I went to when I was at my lowest, and when I just needed to talk to someone. I also learned not to be so hard on myself. I learned to be more dependent on God and learn to come back to him when I failed him, rather than listening to the enemy tell me that you should be ashamed of that, or and think that my shame should be greater than God's love. In saying all of that, I created this channel because I wanted to help others. I didn't do this alone. I know what it's like to try to do it alone. I want to give back what God has given me, the little bit that I know, whether it's through makeup, hair, or talking about my weight struggles or different addictions. Like, makeup is my new addiction. I also want to let people know that, like in Psalms 139, it says that you were knitted in your mother's womb. And that's how I came up with the name. You are created beautifully. That's just the gist of why this channel was created. And I hope you guys will check into it often. I hope to at least have 1 video up a week. And if you have any questions, just comment below and let me know your thoughts of what you want to see, or if you wanted me to go into more depth about something. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.